Hello and welcome to Recitation for CSE259. In today's recitation, we will try to install GNU Prolog on Windows and also understand how we can do it on a Mac and a Linux system. Along with that, we will see some basic syntax of GNU Prolog. Installing GNU Prolog is quite simple. Just go to Google, search for it, and download. So let's see how to do this. So I come on and type GNU Prolog. There it comes up. The first link is what you need to open, www.gprolog.org. You can scroll down to where you see the downloads. If you're using Windows, like my system, you may download the Windows setup. Otherwise, you can download the Mac OS setup. It's a small program and should download quite easily. And all you do is run the execution. You can go with all the default settings. And that's it. You're done. GNU Prolog should give you a terminal which allows you to run, execute Prolog programs. In case you're using Linux, you would like to try this code program called sudo apt install gprolog. It should install gprolog. If you're using a Mac, this may also be helpful in actually setting the path for your Prolog. These links are the important links that you may require, and this will be provided for you in the comments for this video. In Linux, in Mac, you may find that there is a security block which you may have to go through, in which case you open your settings, go to security and privacy, and say open anyways. That allows you to install gprolog. One important thing to note here is in Mac, it does not create a special program like in the case of Windows. To run gprolog, you may have to execute it from your terminal, like here below. Let's see how to install gprolog using the command line for either Ubuntu or for Mac. So you need to have admin access. It's command. So that's it. With this, it installs gprolog. One important thing that you may want to know is whether gprolog is in your path. So the command for that would be, so here you provide your directory. So it would be /opt/local/bin, but here in my case, it's just this. So I'm going to add. Please do look at the references on Google before you do this. For the functions, you're not supposed to have spaces, so that's a problem here. So it's done. So if you type echo as included /opt into it. Okay, that's what it is. Now I can just type gprolog and it goes there. So what is Prolog? Prolog is a logical programming language. It's used mainly for checking various programs, logical conclusions for various programs. So you give an input, execute a set of code, and see whether the output is right. Unlike the usual programming where we are used to, Prolog is a declarative programming language. A declarative programming language is where you don't provide the various steps or the logic of flow, whereas you can just provide statements and as logical statements, and they are executed to perform what you desire. For a simple thing, if you look at this code, if you're running a Java code for this, you need to declare if than else statements to execute a simple path traversal program like this one over here, the one to the left. Whereas in Prolog, you would be only providing facts and rules. To execute the program, you will be running set of queries on your terminal. So what's the basic syntax of Prolog programs? Prolog has two sets of code that you write. One set is called facts. The other set is called rules. A rule is something that has a head followed by a body. A head is a function call, while as a body is a set of rules, or it can be either a set of rules or functions that are executed when the head is called. The colon dash represents an implication, a comma represents conjunction, and a semicolon represents disjunction. Please note that every Prolog command, whether written in a file or written as a query, must end in a dot. Facts are simple set of statements that you provide for executing in a Prolog program. For example, you may say something like red apple. To say apple is red, it becomes a fact. You may say something like father, someone named John, comma, Tom. To say John is the father of Tom. Those will be provided as a simple statements. And remember again, facts do end with a dot. So let's look at a simple program here. Okay. Before we run into a simple program, Prolog contains terms and predicates. What are terms? Terms have variables. Variables start with an uppercase letter. Term can be a constant, which are starting with small letters or numericals, or it can be compound terms, like in that case of a function, where you have multiple terms as inputs to the same function. A predicate is a function which can have one or more parameters. That is a function with arity 0 or greater. A function with arity 0 becomes constant, while a function with arity 1 or more becomes a usual way we define functions. So let's look at a simple program over here. I would like to have something like a Notepad++ in case of Mac Vim for writing out my programs. So here is a simple hello world program, which is main, and all I'm saying is write hello world, comma again, if you remember, is a conjunction, and NL represents a new line. So how do I run this program? I open gprolog, go to file, click on consult. So go to where I have saved my programs. And open it. It executes. And this shows there is an error in the code.